Reporting from Arkham Asylum, this is Gotham Rogues. In this video we count down the 5 worst Batman villains. Batman is known to have the greatest rogues gallery of any fictional character, but that doesn't mean that none of his foes are stinkers. In this video I'm going to rank the 5 worst, silliest, lamest, and most useless rogues to ever cross paths with the Dark Knight. Just for the record, while the villains on this list are extremely ridiculous, I do still like them in a way. There's a certain charm to these poor idiots. Well, except for the last 2. I can't stand the last 2. Number 5. Killer Moth. Moth made his first appearance in Batman number 63, published in 1951. The story was written by Batman creator Bill Finger and penciled by legendary Bat artist Dick Sprang, but they weren't exactly firing on all cylinders with this one. Moth is a criminal who creates the fake identity of millionaire Cameron Van Clare. His real name, Drury Walker, wouldn't be revealed until decades later. As Van Clare, Walker uses his fortune to create an alter ego designed to be the Batman for criminals, and as for his theme, he naturally chooses nature's opposite of bats, moths. Whenever Gotham's crooks are in trouble with Batman or the law, they can shine a moth signal into the sky, which will summon Killer Moth to their aid. He's the anti-Batman, serving criminals instead of innocent law-abiders, complete with a moth cave, mothmobile, and various moth gadgets. You could also say he completely ripped off Batman. Now you may think to yourself, wow, a cool dude such as Mothy should easily have landed the number 1 slot on this list. Well, I can kind of forgive him, as in later years he's found his place and purpose in the Gotham universe as the pathetic loser of the underworld. Moth has also established a special rivalry with Barbara Gordon, aka Batgirl, which stems from the fact that he was the main villain in the very first Barbara Gordon story. I mean, you couldn't just throw the poor inexperienced girl at the fangs of the Joker or the Penguin right away. Number 4. Crazy Quilt. Quilt made his first appearance in Boy Commandos number 15, published in 1946 and written and penciled by the legend Jack Kirby. Being the creator of characters such as Darkseid, Captain America, Iron Man, and the Fantastic Four, Crazy Quilt is probably one of his lesser achievements. Quilt, whose real name is Paul Decker, was a renowned painter and a gangster, because the two naturally go hand in hand. Eventually he was shot by a rival mobster, which robbed him of his eyesight. Decker then sought out an eye doctor to give him his sight back, but the doctor failed. Decker was unable to see anything but vivid colors after the operation, which so commonly happens, so he had a special helmet created, which bathes everything in bright colors for the wearer, allowing Decker to actually see, something which is important if you're going to be a supervillain. With this helmet, a badass costume, and his vast knowledge of colors, Decker became Crazy Quilt, one of the biggest threats to mankind. I kind of love Crazy Quilt in a so bad it's good sort of way. He's got one of the most awesomely ridiculous powers ever, the color helmet. And yeah, it's totally a power and not an actual handicap. One interesting thing about Quilt is that he hates Robin more than Batman, because, well, Robin defeated him once. For a while back in the good old days, Quilt was kind of considered to be Robin's arch enemy, as if the boy wonder didn't have enough strikes against him. Number 3. Polka Dot Man. Polka Dot Man made his first appearance in Detective Comics number 300, published in 1962, in a story written by Bill Finger and penciled by Sheldon Moloff. In this comic, he's actually called Mr. Polka Dot, but he's for some reason billed as the Polka Dot Man on the cover, and instead that name stuck. You see, this guy is such a loser, no one's even bothered to get his name right, not even Mr. Polka Dot himself. So, Mr. Polka Dot is actually Abner Krill, an idiot who somehow got his hands on the most sophisticated technology ever. A suit with dots that can be ripped off and turned into anything. Buzzsaws, flying saucers, giant bubbles, and fists? Okay. Krill uses his amazing near-magical technology to commit petty thefts in Gotham City. Of course! And naturally all of his crimes are related to Dot somehow, such as robbing the Spot Service carpet cleaning company. If you're gonna have a theme, you gotta go all the way with it. After his first thrilling adventure, Krill must have realized just how embarrassing he was as he laid low for the next 34 years. He then decided to resume his crime spree in 1996, but the rightful owner of the polka dot suit must have reclaimed it, as Krill was now merely swinging around a baseball bat. Detective Harvey Bullock then proceeded to beat the crap out of him with said bat. We haven't really seen much of Abner since then, and for the sake of mankind, maybe that's for the best. Number 2. Captain Stingaree. Created by writers Bob Razakis and Michael Uslan and artist Ernie Chan, Stingaree made his first appearance in Detective Comics 460 in 1976. The captain's real name is Carl Courtney, one of 4 quadruplets. Carl is the black sheep of the Courtney family, maybe not so strange, since he walks around dressed like a pirate and calls himself Captain Stingaree. Although to be fair, he does run the hottest restaurant in Gotham, the Stingaree ship, which even Bruce Wayne frequents while dressed as a 30s gangster. Suddenly one day, Carl got it into his confused head that Batman was actually 3 people posing as one, and that these men were his brothers, the other 3 Courtneys. Instead of being amazed and proud of his brothers, Carl decided to become a supervillain and kill them. Too lazy to actually come up with an alter ego and gimmick, he just used his Captain Stingaree persona from work. And that there, ladies and gentlemen, is the story of Captain Stingaree, Batman's pirate-themed villain, because every rogues gallery needs one of those. If Carl had been created in 1966 or 56, I could have forgiven him, but by 1976, Batman had been firmly re-established as a dark creature of the night, so there's just no excuse. This guy shouldn't exist. And luckily he doesn't anymore, thanks to Mr. Freeze's bad aiming. Thank you, Victor. And now for the lamest Bat-Rogue to ever annoy the Dark Knight. Number 1. Kite Man. Ah, Kite Man, who else could it be? Another loser created by Bill Finger and Dick Sprang. He made his first appearance in Batman 133, published in 1960. What can you even say about Kite Man? He's a guy who one day decided that he wanted to be a supervillain, but realizing that all the good gimmicks were already taken, he had to settle for kites. At least that's how I think it happened. We don't really know much about Kite Man. His real name is Charlie Brown. No, seriously, look it up if you don't believe me. And one day he just showed up in Gotham, flying around and committing so-called crimes. Then Batman figured, gee, I guess I better do something about this, or else this poor disturbed man might get himself hurt. And ever since then, Charlie Brown has believed himself to be the Dark Knight's greatest nemesis. It's sad, really. Now I almost feel sorry for putting Charlie on the number 1 slot, but nobody else is worthy enough of it. I mean kites, for Christ's sake. Need I really say more? So, there you have it. Those are the 5 worst Batman villains to ever soil the page of a comic book. If you can think of any others who deserve to be mentioned, write them in the comments below. And remember, Arkham Asylum awaits you in the next video.